factoring unit, and today we are factoring cubes. So, I wanted to introduce you to the two formulas. If you have a plus sign, you're going to use that formula. If you have a minus sign, you're going to be using this formula. The formulas look exactly the same except for their signs. I want to introduce you to something called MOP. It helps you memorize your signs. The M stands for match. In other words, that first sign always matches whatever's in the problem. The O stands for opposite. So that second sign is always the opposite of what that first sign is. And the last one, the P, stands for plus. The last sign is always a plus sign. Now, we're not scared of formulas because we know what to do. You write the formula, you plug in the numbers, and then you simplify. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. The first thing is I want to review perfect cube numbers. So you have to know to recognize these numbers. When you see them, you see the number, then you're thinking, oh, that's a perfect cube. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 to the third power is 8. 3 to the third power is 27. We're on the 4 now. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. 5 to the third power is 125. 6 to the fourth power is 216. And then 343. So when you see these numbers, chances are, there's a good chance it's going to be a cube problem. So you got to know how to recognize them. The variables always look like this. X to the third, X to the sixth, X to the ninth. You get it? It's multiples of 3. So that's what they look like. Now, I only have 2 examples, and it gets even better. I only have 4 homework problems today. So, here we go. The first one is like this. It's 8x cubed minus 1. And you can see both of the numbers are perfect cubes. You can test it by going to Math 4 in your calculator. And when you put the cube root of 8, it gives you a whole number back, which is 2. So the first thing we're going to do is write the formula, A minus B, and then A squared plus AB plus B squared, close parentheses. Now, the formula only has 2 letters in it. It has A in it and it has B in it. So if you can figure out what A is and what B is, then all you'd have to do is plug it in. So here we go. How do you find A? You take the cube root of whatever comes first. So you show that kind of off to the side. A is the cube root of whatever comes first. 8x to the third power. Well, do your math 4 to take the cube root of 8 and you get 2. And how do you take a cube root of x to the third? You divide those little numbers. So what is 3 divided by 3? You got it. X to the first power. Now, how do you find B? Take a cube root of whatever comes second. Don't use your sign. The signs are built into the formula. So, off to the side, you're going to go B is the cube root of 1. B is 1. So, every time you see A, plug in 2x. Every time you see B, plug in 1. So, here we go. A is what? 2x. They have a minus, I have a minus. What is B? B is 1. Close parentheses, open little parentheses. I'm right here, guys. Okay, A again is still 2x. Close your parentheses. Don't forget to square it. Plus, what is A? Still 2x. There's a times sign right there. So times, and B is 1. Plus, B is 1. Don't forget to square it. Close your parentheses. Now, I'm going to start over. And I'm going to erase some of this so that you can see it. Now I've got to simplify. Well, x's don't subtract with 1s. And so since x's don't subtract with numbers, you can't combine those. So you're just going to bring it down. So 2x minus 1. Going back up to the top of my board. This is the power rule. So 2 squared, that's going to give you 4. And multiply these exponents. 1 times 2 is x squared. On the right here in the middle, 2x times 1 is just 2x. Plus 1 squared, which is 1 times 1. Is just 1. And that is your answer. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Write the formula. Take a cube root, plug in your numbers, and simplify. Okay, let's do one more. Example 2. All right, so example 2, let's do x to the 6th power plus 125. So the formula is the one that starts off with a plus sign, and then it's going to change to a minus sign, and then it ends with a plus sign. Now, how do you find A? Take the cube root of whatever comes first. Well, how do you take cube root of variables? You divide them. So A is going to be x to the 2nd power. So every time you see A, you're going to replace it with x squared. Okay, what about B? Well, B is the cube root of whatever comes second. Well, what's the cube root of 125? B is 5. Now plug that in. Open parentheses. A is x squared plus B is 5. You can't simplify that. X's don't add with 5s. The A is x squared, but then you have a square on the outside. Power rule, multiply those exponents. They have a minus, I have a minus. A is x squared, there's a times sign there, times B is 5. Plus, B is 5, and you have to square it. Simplify. Well, again, this doesn't simplify, so bring it down. Power rule right here, so 2 times 2 is going to give you x to the 4th power, minus, multiply that, put your number first, then your variable, plus 5 times 5 is 25. And that is your answer. Now, I've got 4 problems for you. So send this to my phone number. Okay, so I'm going to see if you can, put your name on it. Date it for 4/7, no matter what day you do this. We're factoring